India's first G20 presidency has brought with it new opportunities to present itself at a global level. Now, you know that the summit itself will be taking place on the 9th and 10th right here in the NCR region. And New Delhi is going to have in front of it an opportunity to shape the agenda of a major world grouping. And along with it, and the opportunities that it brings, there are obviously also challenges that the country will face. My colleague Akanksha Swaroop brings you the breakdown. Take a look.
One of the biggest challenges to India's G20 presidency is going to be the test of its multipolarity rhetoric. Can India bring Russia and China to address the Ukraine war in the leaders' declaration, a major geopolitical issue that had been rejected by both the countries at the summit in Bali last year? The G20 communique in Bali last year echoed Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's message to Russian President Vladimir Putin. It said that today's era must not be of war. A sentiment that echoes with India's G20 theme of Vasudev Kutumbakam. One earth, one family, one future. And that's why China and Russia's statement on Ukraine becomes a mammoth challenge for the host nation.
We saw that last time in Indonesia, and I'm hoping that India will be able to at least equal what Indonesia was able to do last time, given even the very, very difficult circumstances we find ourselves in today.
But India is a natural leader of the countries of the global south. It has walked the walk of non-alignment all along, and that's very relevant in the present, deeply polarized global environment.
But foreign policy analysts believe that there are other global issues far more pressing to the G20 members than the war in Ukraine. Also, as the leading voice of the global south, can India bridge the gap between the underdeveloped and developed nations by bringing together nations of the global south and the global north to address pressing issues of poverty, underdevelopment and climate action? Come hell or high water, India must overcome climate change hurdles. One that includes phasing down of fossil fuels, if not completely phasing out.
Green energy, again, somewhere like in developed markets like the US and particularly Europe, have a very stringent, very tough green agenda where they want to go to carbon zero by 2050. And for developing markets, that's not really an option in so much as you need energy, because everybody in the developing world is still in the fast growth stage, and they need energy in order to keep their GDP growing. Whereas, here in Europe, it's slowing down already, and everyone's looking more at efficiency and cost.
And even though India's G20 presidency is riddled with challenges, it offers a plethora of opportunities too. India can promote digital literacy, e-governance and healthcare, considering it's a hub of vaccine production and a major supplier of generic drugs. India can also leverage technology for sustainable development. The UPI is a big success domestically, but now India can use its G20 presidency to market the platform at a global level. And here's New Delhi's biggest opportunity, carving G20 as a global arbiter in international affairs. That too as a multilateral instrument where all members are treated equally.
The India in charge of the G20 is, this is one of the key bodies that's also emerged as a challenge to the Western-dominated system. And in that sense, the G7 has become much less important than it used to be. And the G20, in many ways, it's taken over as the leading economic body. And there's almost parity between the developed world and the developing world. I think the Middle East is about to join the G20, which would actually put the developing world into the majority in the G20, and therefore it is a more representative body.
India is assuming the role of global leadership when the United States is no longer a global policeman. China and Russia are already perceived as authoritarian regimes, precisely why it would be interesting to see if India can lead from the front. With video journalist Ravi Ranjan, Akanksha Swaroop, CNN News 18.